Nick with Culligan here to talk about the assembly of the pump. In this case, it is a 220 pump. We've already got our wiring done here with our heat shrinks. The wires were connected, wrapped in electrical tape, and then we just touched it, grazed it with the torch, tightened it up, keep it together. The idea is to keep water out of this. It's going to be submerged its entire life. That's aside. With the pump here, what we had is some scheduled 80 pipe that already had the thread on it. And what we did is we put the toffee tape on there, put some glue on there, put some glue on the inside, put it in nice and tight. With this, you want to make sure you don't put too much toffee tape. Toffee tape wears out over time and creates an issue. So 4 or 5 circulations around it is just fine. Once you put this in there, make sure you clean off the glue. You don't want it to be sloppy. You don't want the glue getting into the water. After that, you want to cut yourself off enough space to work with. This here is fine. If you want to go an inch or 2 more, that's totally fine too. The next step after that is going to be this here check valve. The idea of any check valve that you install when it comes to well water, or in general, is you want to make sure the flow of water is going with the check valve. Every check valve on it, no matter where you buy it from or what kind of check valve it is, there's going to be an arrow on it. That means the water's going with that flow. So before you do anything, keep in mind this is what has to happen. If you put it in reverse, it'll stop the water flow. You'll have to do it all over again. What I'm doing now is I'm going to put some glue on there, check valve going up because that's going to be the flow of the water. Get the rim with some glue, a couple times is fine. The rim here with some glue, about the first inch or so, just under an inch. Put it in there. If you need a twist, no more than a quarter turn on the twist, just a little bit. Hold it down. You always want to keep the pressure on it as the glue's on there. Sometimes what will happen is it'll force its way back out and the seal won't be too good. I'm going to wipe that off, nice and clean. Hold that down for a minute. Now one thing you want to keep in mind is which direction is this pump going to face inside the aerator. You want to keep that in mind because if you have to work on this aerator and look into the pump and you can't personally look at the check valve, you're not sure if the check valve is on right. If somebody installed this yesterday and it's not working for some reason, you can always look at the check valve and say, well, the check valve's in reverse. No wonder why it's not getting any water. In this case, this is the way the pump's going to be facing, so you can easily look down inside the aerator and see that it's correct. Next, I got some 1 1/4 inch tubing here, PVC. Simply going to glue that on. A couple passes there, a couple passes here, nice and even. Want to make sure you get all of it. You're going to glue that in. Nice little quarter turn, small turn. Dry that off. I'm going to hold that in place for a second. Now with all these pieces, whenever you're doing this, whether it's out in the field or in the garage, what you want to keep in mind is you want everything you need on hand. Think of your steps, step by step before you get involved. Because my next step is going to be a float. Now this isn't timely, but it makes it better for you to have everything laid out and ready to go. On these pumps, you will notice these holes. These aren't by accident. These are good for hanging the float. It's best, I find it, to do the float outside the aerator than inside the aerator. If you're inside the aerator, now you're crawling inside and you're getting yourself all flustered for no reason whatsoever. With these zip ties, simply put them in through the hole. You want to buy yourself off about 4 or 5 inches or so to let it hang so it can do what it needs to do. You don't want to do it too tight or else you're going to have this binding and it's not going to work the way it should. So lower it just a few inches. Zip tie through. Also, when doing this, we recommend that you usually use more than 1 zip tie. Don't get crazy and put 37 on there or some ridiculous number. Me, I find 2 is fine. If you're out in the field and you want to work on one of these things, you want to make sure there isn't a lock. That being said, if these were to break over time or bust, or maybe if it's been cleaned so many times and hit with a stick, eventually one could break loose. So, safe than sorry, you're better off putting 2. You don't have to clip off these little leftover pieces. I usually do. There's just less in the way, less for bacteria and stuff to hang on to. This has plenty of room now. If you need to adjust it, you can. And it's ready to go. So this whole assembly is set up. My next step is going to be put it in the aerator.